Very serious today because we have a serious topic to talk about, and it's how to be taken seriously as a female entrepreneur. So I have 8 pointers for you today, number 1 being physical image. This is my favorite because, as you can see, I'm a little crazy. I like to show my personal style. I like to be fun. I usually have a different color hair and crazy makeup. I love my eyelashes, but I keep it polished, I keep it serious, I keep it professional with a little bit of fun. So it's very important for you to do that as well. Think about who you're meeting with, where you're going, what you want to convey. The worst thing for me is when I show up to a casual meeting and you're maybe meeting with an amateur or someone who's asking you for something and they show up way overdressed. And I'm thinking to myself, dude, we're meeting in Malibu on the beach for oysters. I've got on fluorescent pink flip-flops and I might have on a little suit jacket or something, but I'm definitely a lot more casual. So you have to think about where you're going and what the atmosphere is going to be like and dress accordingly, because you also don't want to stand out too much. For men, there's no need to overcompensate. Be confident in who you are and what you're doing. If you're an entrepreneur, you're the boss. You dress how you want to dress. You still want to keep it polished, but if you want to wear shorts, wear some shorts. If you want to wear a crazy flower Hawaiian shirt, then you do that, but you have to do it with confidence because that's you. You're the boss. You also want to keep it polished. It's okay to be casual, but polished is the key. There's a way to be relaxed and hold it all together. And the way you do that is just balance. You want to balance everything. So for instance, as a woman, if you want to show a little skin, great. Pick one thing to show. So maybe if you want to show your chest, wear a long sleeve. Or if you want to show your legs, that's fine. But pick one thing and stick to it. You don't want to overexpose yourself. This is really important for women. You have to kind of figure out where you stand in your sexuality. Now that might be a little confusing and maybe you haven't looked in the mirror and assessed who you are, but you have to figure out if your sexuality is offensive or non-offensive. I personally think that I'm non-offensive. Sexuality has nothing to do with attractiveness. It has to do with the vibe you give off when you meet people. Some people just are overtly sexy. They don't mean to be. Think about Marilyn Monroe. She walks into a room, she's sweet and innocent, but man, she would just light it up. You have to kind of decide if that's you. If that is you, maybe there's a couple of extra steps you should take to tone it down just a little bit when you're in a business setting. Number 2, energy. Energy is so important. Energy is everything when you walk into a room. You don't get a second chance. You walk into a room with me, you're nervous and you can't look me in the eye, or your chest is offset. Your energy is everything. So when you're talking about how to be taken seriously as an entrepreneur, it's all about energy. You want to walk in that room, you shake hands, you maybe tell a little joke, have a little fun with it, but it's all about your energy, the way you project your voice, and just everything that you give off in that room, and just everything about your body language. Number 3, this is a big one for women especially. It's how you handle yourself on social media. If you want to be taken seriously as a female entrepreneur, you can't post ridiculous or provocative things. You can't go off on political rants. You have to keep it polished. Your social media should reflect you. It should also reflect your business. Now, if your business is obviously modeling or you're a spokesgirl for car companies and it's your job to be provocative, that's one thing. But if you're starting a financial services company, or you're doing merchant services, or maybe you're opening a photography studio, or like me, I'm in fashion, your social media page should convey what you are, who you are, what you stand for, and don't go outside of that. It's okay to show your personality, but don't get crazy on social media. It's a negative, and everyone's looking at you these days, so you don't want to ruin it that way. Number 4 on my list is character. This to me is so important. Character is you. It's what's in your soul. It's in your bones. It's what you're born with. I truly believe you're born with character, and it's hard to change. You can look at your flaws and you can see what you're doing wrong, and you can kind of just assess who you are and develop that and work on that. But your innate character, who you are, that's inside of you, and it's so important in business to have a really good character. You want to be that person who pays on time, who's not defensive when something's criticized. You want to be the upstanding person who's not going to freak out on someone. You especially don't want to be known as someone who overuses or abuses your sexuality in business. And that can go for men or women. With men, it's more verbal, and I feel like with women, it's more physical. So an example of someone who's abusing their sexuality verbally in a man, with someone who's going to sleep with your wife or makes those jokes, a man who uses inappropriate comments, sexual innuendos, that's bad business character. And to me, I've never seen a person change or recover from that. That's just someone I don't want to do business with. For women, it's overusing their sexuality physically. You know, showing too much, giggling, laughing, the whole flirty thing in order to close a deal. That's not cool, guys. I mean, if that's the way you want to be known in business, is for using your sexuality, then by all means go for it. But I don't want to work with you, and probably most entrepreneurs and people you are trying to get money from or do business with don't want to work with you either. And if they do, you know what, their intentions are negative, their intentions are bad. You have to be careful also about not being too vulgar verbally. I think that's a part of your character. We're kind of relaxed in LA, and that's something I see when I have meetings outside of my little comfort zone. I have to watch my language. People in the bigger cities and the more relaxed cities, we throw words around like it's no big deal, but you really have to take a look at that as part of your character too when you're meeting with people and trying to do business. You just have to look at the whole package. Number 5, which is, I think it's easier for a man than a woman from my perspective, would be decision making. We all have a decision-making process that we go through. And when someone asks you a question or presents you with something, you pretty much already have what the answer is in your body. But me, sometimes I'm a strong, but I am also somewhat of a submissive woman when it comes to the way I live my life. I have a hard time like owning my decisions sometimes. So if you make a mistake or you do something little that's, I mean, no one's gonna die from this, stop apologizing. I feel like we apologize way too much for everything. You know, when I have a long day, 15, 16 hours, and I come home, you know, everyone needs to eat. And usually I'm the one who cooks, but why apologize for that? You know, oh, I'm so sorry, I just really don't feel like cooking tonight. I only worked 15 hours. You know, you don't have to be like that. It should be, hey, I'm tired, let's order out. There's no apology needed. So really watch out for over apologizing, because you shouldn't have to apologize for the things you feel or the days that you've had. Now, if you're offensive to someone or if you say something that hurts someone's feelings, you obviously want to apologize, or if you make a mistake. But just on a daily basis, I feel like women in general apologize way too much. Number 6, respect your time, respect my time, respect your time, respect everyone's time involved. One of the problems I have is when someone comes into my office and we have a meeting and we're pretty much done talking about, you know, you talk a little bit about your social, whatever's going on in your family, then you talk about business, and then you kind of end it and you just need to go on. And there's people that linger. And when you're an entrepreneur, time is everything. We're already overworking, overextending ourselves. We have a million things in our mind, on our plate. The day never ends, especially mentally. So when you're in front of someone or you have a meeting with someone, just make sure that you're conscious of your time, their time, be on time, and don't waste anyone's time. Number 7 on my list could be one of my favorites, and that's be real. I mean, be real, be who you are. I can't stand when people fake the funk. You know, I'm from Georgia, and that's kind of a term we use. It's funny, but don't fake the funk. Don't fake who you are. If you don't know something when you're in a meeting, or for instance, when I hire people, one of my qualifications is I prefer people to know Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator. I'm in the creative field. It really just helps me out if there's someone else around who can Photoshop a picture really quick or put together a video or whatever it is. And the worst answer you can give me is a lie. If you don't know it, then don't lie. Be real. You know, I do like a hustler who is the type of person that will go figure it out. So if you don't know something, it's okay to say, oh, I don't know about that, but I can guarantee you I'm gonna know tomorrow, because I'm gonna YouTube it, I'm gonna look it up, I'm gonna ask questions. But don't lie about it in the moment, because we can see right through that. So be real. Be real when someone asks you about who you are and what you stand for. Just be real. Last but not least on my 8 points of how to be taken seriously as an entrepreneur is don't be afraid of the hustle. I love that term. You're gonna hear me overuse it. It's gonna annoy you, but I am a hustler, and I love working with hustlers. What's a hustler? So a hustler is someone who doesn't wait around for the answer. If you need an answer from someone, it's okay to wait for that answer, but while you're waiting, get other things done. There's so much you can get done in 15 minutes. There's so many thoughts you can process or write down, or a list you can make, or an idea you can build on. Be a hustler, take initiative. There's nothing better in the entrepreneurial world than a hustler, and there is no entrepreneur in the world that's not a hustler. How was that? Did you take me seriously? Yeah? Okay, great. Well, I want to hear your comments, and also don't forget to subscribe to Valuetainment, because you know what our goal, thanks. You know what our goal is? Our goal is 1 million subscribers.